Hi there folks, it's me, Aaron, Professor Thorgi, your guide to all things geeky, and on this episode of the Weekly Geekly Report, I've got a new, groundbreaking story. No one else has this scoop, it's just me, and I'm about to reveal something to you that will blow your minds. Something that will rock the comic book world to its core that you will never... Hold on a sec. New Persona 5 trailer has been leaked. The Weekly Geekly Report and all further shows are delayed until this is settled. Hi there folks, and welcome to a new episode of Thorgi's Theories, the show where I just spout random nonsense as it pops into my brain. That is sadly closer to the truth than I would like to admit. But if you've watched the Thorgi's Theories before, then you already know that this episode seems different. By which I mean, I'm here. And there's a couple of reasons for that, and I'll get to that in a bit. But first off, let me just tell you what I'm talking about today. Easily the most popular video on my channel is... Why did I forget the word popular? Anyway, easily the most popular video on my channel is the Thorgi's Theory that I did on the first Persona 5 trailer. You can see it right there, click on it if you want to watch the whole thing. But the theory I had watching that trailer was that, wow, it looks like you're kind of villainous in this. Like, you might be playing the bad guy in here, which I thought was cool. I'm not against that idea if that's what it turns out to be. But it was like, wow, that actually looks like what you could be. You could be the villain in this whole thing. And the more I watched it and the more little clues I picked up on, I was like, I don't think you're using personas in this game. I think you might actually be using shadows. And I'm not like 100% on that. Like, I admit that is a far-fetched theory. But guess what? The second trailer for Persona 5 just leaked. And I watched it and oh my gosh. Okay, there's several things in there that's like, okay, that's not matching up with the theory that I had. But then there were several other things I was like, oh god, that's kind of matching up with the theory that I had. So this is my follow-up to that first trailer. And as I said, the reason why I'm here and I'm not doing voiceover like I normally am, this doesn't look as polished and clean, I'm not showing video clips, is a couple of reasons. One is, quite honestly, I've just got a ton of other videos that I'm working on right now, and this is just way easier for me. Two, I saw a lot of people trying to link to YouTube for their video of this that they upload. They're a little like, alright, I just upload my video for this. I just, I copy and pasted it from the official source that I stole it from, and now I've got it on YouTube, so click here to see it. And I tried going to that, and I would say, this video has been taken down for copyright use. And I was like, oh, that's right, leaked. The trailer was leaked, meaning they don't want anyone to see it yet. Meaning YouTube will take you down if you try and put it up. So, yeah, the only way that I could actually show footage from that trailer is if I, like, flipped it upside down and made it into, like, a little tiny cube playing right here in the corner. Yeah, nobody wants to see that. Now, I will try and take some screen caps from it and put those up when I'm trying to make a point about it. So I think I'll be safe doing that. I don't think they're going to take my video down for that. Famous last words from YouTubers, folks. I don't think they're going to take my video down for that. But the third reason why I'm doing the video like this today is because normally when I do a Thorgi's Theories, I have one major theory at the end that I'm working towards. I might have a different theory leading up to it, but it's all kind of pointing towards one thing. On this one, as I watched it, I went, wow, I have about a dozen theories about this, and they're all quick little short ones. So instead, I'm just gonna send them out rapid fire on this episode, alright? So I've got the video up right here, got it ready. I have very noisy headphones that click and clack as I use them. I apologize to everyone for that. So let's go, I'm going to watch it now. Okay, first off, before I even get to half a minute into this trailer, theory number one, you're dead. That's my first theory that I get from watching this trailer. It starts the same way that any Persona game starts with. It's got you on a train, going into town. You're the new kid in town, you're riding by train, that's how all these characters arrive. And we saw that in the first trailer, but in this one, it's also got you in this velvet cell, and you can hear your persona talking to you, asking you what's wrong, and it seems like you're being guarded. It's something very supernatural, very not of this earth. And then there's a brief frame where there is an explosion. Now, go back to the first Persona 5 trailer. We see that video footage of the train conductor with his eyes completely glazed over. He's just kind of zombified. Clearly he was being possessed by a monster of some kind, and it looks like he's crashing the train. I don't think that was from something else. We all saw that was like, oh, so that might be like the first boss you gotta fight or something like that. It's gotta be like a level you gotta go through. I think that might be from this opening cutscene of you arriving in town. I think before you even get there, your train explodes and you die. And if you go all the way to the very end of the trailer, it says, steal back your future. I have a theory on this one. I hope to God I do, because that's the whole point of these Thorgi theories. I have a theory that you die entering town. And everybody gets their personas by building a contract. Everyone enters the Velvet Room by entering into a contract. I have a theory that this persona of yours, it's going to make a deal with you where it will bring you back to life as long as you keep stealing things for it. Just like in 3 and 4 where there were timers. Like in 3 you had to finish something by a full moon. In 4 you had to save your friends by the next rainy day, by the next foggy day. In this one, I think that you have to steal a certain item by a certain day or else contract is over, you go back to being dead. That's my first theory. Okay, the second theory. In that first video of mine, I was like, okay, you might be using shadows because we see the way that it kind of takes over your protagonist there towards the end of that first trailer. In this one, we see a lot more of that. You are there in this prison thing, in this cell, and then all of a sudden, this character's eyes just light up bright yellow the same way that anybody possessed by a shadow does, and then the flames just overcome your body and your expression and your personality changes completely. I really think that, when I saw that first trailer and I saw that guy driving the train, I was like, okay, so the villains are going to be possessing you. I think your personas might be possessing you, or maybe not personas at all. As I said in that first theory of mine, I think that you might be using shadows instead of personas. And when you look at the way that this guy is possessing you, just like spoilers for Persona 4. Okay, everybody gone? Just kind of the way that it possessed, like, say, Adachi at the end of that game, or how it possessed Namatame. This really looks like the way that a shadow overtakes somebody rather than the way that a persona is used. Just looking at the rules that were established in Persona 4, they say that a persona is a shadow that is accepted. That when the owner of that shadow accepts it for what it is, it turns into a persona and it works alongside them. In this, we see that, our protagonist, he is in jail. He's in some kind of an afterlife thing. And how on earth is he going to get out of there? This looks to me more like the shadow just came up to him and said, hey man, you and me, we can work together on this. It doesn't seem like he accepted his shadow so much as just he was like, all right, yeah, I will work with you if you can get me out of this. So he's accepted it, which means he can use it almost like a persona, but it doesn't really look like he accepted it for what it was. So honestly, I think that in this upcoming game, and this is my third theory on this one, is that I don't think that the lines between shadows and personas are going to be that clear cut. Going back to that first video I had, I said that I think that you will be a shadow and you will be fighting the personas, and one of the things that I referenced is that in that first trailer, you are fighting Sandman and Jack-o'-lantern, 2 of the actual personas that you use in previous games. And in this one, when you are going into the hall, you see the villains there, and they do actually bring out the shadow mask, the mask that all the shadows have in the game. So it's like, okay, so they are clearly shadows, but then they merge together and transform into Norn, which isn't just a persona, it's one of the big personas. Like, it looks like this might be a boss fight that you just saw in that. But this does make me think that, okay, so the persona you're using takes over your body. It possesses you. It gives you the yellow shadow eyes. It, makes you go out and commit these crimes. That seems like shadowy behavior, and you're fighting personas, but they have the shadowy mask. I think that in this one, the lines are not going to be so very clear cut. As I said, I think that the personas are going to have a lot of the traits and habits of shadows, and the shadows are going to have a lot of the traits and habits of personas, and that might actually tie into the story a little bit. That, hey, this is a world in which something has happened, in which, black and white are not the name of the game. It is all just shades of gray now, and everything is slowly merging together. Maybe there isn't even going to be a difference between personas and shadows anymore. They're all just going to be the same thing, and you're just using your whatever you want to call it, to fight other ones. By the way, that's the dumbest fake word I've ever come up with in the history of this channel, and that's saying something. Okay, moving on to the next theory that I have, and this one is just real short, but in the previous trailer that I had, I mentioned I think that you might be the bad guys in this, and there was one quick thing that came up in this that kind of supported that theory a bit, and it was just the way that you fight in this game. We saw something real quick. I'm not talking necessarily about the fact that you're all using guns, and in Japan, only police and criminals carry guns, and you're definitely not the police. So that's something to think about, but it's not what I'm talking about. The thing that I'm talking about is the fact that during combat, you go and rip a dude's head off. Like, there's a moment which he flips onto this shadow guy's body, grabs his face, and just starts ripping off. Like, you hear, like, bones snapping as he's ripping that thing. It's like, that is not something a good guy does. That is brutal. That was, first off, applause to the sound designer of this game, because, Okay, next theory I'm bringing up real quick. In the previous trailer, I was like, why are they not showing any other teammates? The only teammates you're seeing in this are your cat buddy and the two blonde kids you're fighting with, and that was it. And I was like, well, maybe they're keeping everybody else a secret. In this one, we still don't see anybody else, and that makes me think, oh, this might be it for your team, which is fine. You know, I prefer the bigger cast, but if they want to keep it small, that's perfectly cool. But I noticed something. There was a shot of everybody fighting and using their special moves, and you, as the protagonist, you summon out your persona. Everybody else just uses guns. Nobody else is summoning out a persona. I was like, that's kind of odd. But then there comes a moment in there in which you see the boy, the blonde boy, in which he falls over, he's sweating, his eyes are turning yellow. There is a clear shot of his eyes turning yellow, and like he is freaking out and panicking. I think that each of your teammates will get to use personas or shadows or whatever they are, but it's going to take a while. They do not start off with that, and it slowly comes over them. But yeah, look at the way that he is getting possessed here. Once again, this does not look like he is coming about this of his own free nature. This looks like possession. It really looks to me like the shadows or personas or whatever you want to call them in this game, they don't really care about you. This is not a team thing. This is, no. I'm the part inside of you. I am your evil side inside of you, and I'm coming out and I'm taking over your body, whether you like it or not. This really does look to me, just that one expression of him in pain as it really looks like he is about to summon his power, that to me says, yeah man, the personas ain't on your side in this game. Okay, we're getting towards the end of the trailer real quick, but there is a scene in which the walls are being painted and it says, are they on the road to glory or ruin? And then it shows somebody painting it, and they've painted like the entire hallway. And this person, just look at the way that they're dressed. Everybody else on your team, they're dressed in black or red, you know, very evil colors. This person is all in white, but also very firm, very proper. He's painting very elegantly. His clothes are in complete contrast, and just his mannerisms and the way that he is acting are in complete contrast to the way that you saw your characters acting, especially in that first trailer when they were running around and dancing through town. It really looks to me like this is definitely going to be our bad guy. This is going to be, well, maybe not bad guy, but this is definitely going to be the antagonist, the person who is out there trying to stop your character. I know nothing else about him beyond that, but I would be willing to put money down that this is the guy you will be fighting. Okay, and before I go, this is it. This is my final theory of the night, the big one I've been leading up to. Speaking of that guy who's been painted on the walls, right before it cuts away from him, it zooms out, and all the walls say, never give in, never give in, never give in, which seems to support my theory that you are being possessed and controlled by this evil persona, and you have to resist it, you have to fight against it. And right after that, it then cuts to the protagonist, and not just, you know, the evil possessed protagonist, but you with the non-yellow eyes, and you are in the Velvet Room, except you are in a jail cell. You are trapped there in the Velvet Room, and looking at the way that you get possessed, and at the way that says never give in, and at how you are in this jail cell, I think that you enter the Velvet Room when you get possessed. When your evil persona takes you over, you, the regular protagonist, wake up in this jail cell. You are then trapped within your own mind of the Velvet Room, and I think that you have to figure out a way to break out of it and then get back to where you can defeat your evil persona self. Also, there was one really quick shot of the protagonist ripping something off of his eyes, blood splattering everywhere from his eyes, and that's when I remembered, oh yeah, your mask. When you are possessed like this, you have the mask on, so the fact that he is fighting it and he has to work that hard to take it off really does make it look like you are possessed. He has to fight to become human again. Or maybe you don't. Now, I found a, kind of crummy translation of this. There is no official translation, obviously, yet because it is leaked. But the translation that I found says that the thing that is said at the very end, the narration that's said at the very end, is, "We will meet again at the moment your destiny has been determined." Now, that makes me think that you might get to choose in this, that this might be one of those games that has multiple endings. I mean, if you look at Catherine, that's one of those games that also has multiple endings and is made by the same person, so we know that Atlus is okay with making games that have multiple endings, especially these games like Persona where you are meant to inhabit their protagonist. So that is definitely a possibility in which you will be able to choose, do I want to fight my evil self or embrace this evil side? But that's just my theory. I want to know what you guys have to say. What theories do you have about this game? It's very vague. They're doing a great job of teasing us with just enough to get us to keep coming back. So what theories do you have? What do you think might be going on in all this? Do you not have any theories? Then just let me know how you felt about this trailer. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Does it have you more excited than the last one? Did you think the first one was better? Let me know all that and more down in the comments down below. And if you like this video, please share it. You guys did a great job of sharing that first video. Holy cow, that first Persona video, you guys shared that like crazy, and I love you guys all for doing that. I would guarantee that about half of my followers came from you guys sharing that first video. So thank you guys so much for doing that. So, if you could do it again with this one, I would be super excited. And if somebody did already share this video and you're seeing it and me for the first time, well then hi there, I'm Professor Thorgi. Welcome to my channel. If you like what you see here, then please hit that subscribe button. I do fun, geeky videos on anything from comic books, movies, video games, every single week. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then please hit that subscribe and come back next time. So, once again, thank you guys for tuning in. Click on one of the videos at the end of this to see even more from me, and come back next time. Bye!